Happy New Year, everybody!
Happy New Year. Yeah, there you go.
Happy New Year, yeah,
Happy New Year, guys.
I'm all excited.
Mrs. Moonstomp is always excited.
Oh gosh, yes, yes.
Yeah, and I'm as well, actually, guys. Yeah, massively excited, in fact. We've made it another year.
I know.
That's what I'm excited about.
2025 and we're staying alive.
Just about.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
So there you go.
Well, welcome back to the channel anyway, Moonstompers. I'm Mrs. Moonstomper.
As if you couldn't guess, and I'm Mr. Moonstomper, as if you couldn't guess, but I kind of figured you knew that already. But if it's your first time on the channel, massive warm welcome aboard, and we love you.
That's it,
Yeah.
and oi oi, boots and braces and all
There
that.
you go. There you go.
Yeah,
Exactly
man.
that. What she said.
Yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper, Mrs.
Yeah.
Moonstomper.
Oh yes, Mr. Moonstomper.
Let's start as we went to
What
go.
is it?
What's this one all about?
It's about Symarip, the reggae band Symarip.
There you go. And in my humble opinion, this for me is where the journey for Skinhead actually really starts.
Lead singer Roy Ellis.
The lovely, wonderful Roy Ellis.
Yes.
So the man who started it all, actually, for me anyway.
The Skinhead reggae scene.
So Mrs. Moonstomper,
Oh yes.
tell us more about Symarip.
Symarip, yes, it's a skinhead band from Jamaica.
But not really from Jamaica. Well, yes, from Jamaica originally.
Yeah.
But
landed in
started in the United Kingdom.
yes in 1962.
Yeah, and it's the only authentic. Well, it's not the only authentic now, but at that point in time, it was the only authentic British ska band
That's it.
at that point in time.
Yes.
But we'll drill down to that shortly. So, what else do you know about Symarip? I can never say it, guys. Symarip.
Symarip. Yes, firstly known as the pyramids, like the pyramids in Egypt, like them structures.
Now, the reason they're known as the pyramids, it's Eddie Grant's fault.
Okay.
So, now, if you don't know who Eddie Grant is, right, he was with a band called the Equals.
Equals, yes.
And again, in my opinion, I would say that's one of the first multiracial bands, and they're absolutely brilliant.
Oh gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Busted out some good tunes there,
they,
didn't they?
they did, and they were big in the mid '60s. He
Yes.
later became just Eddie Grant as a solo
80s.
artist in the '80s, and the guy's absolutely amazing. He's had some
is.
absolute bangers, he really has.
She has, yes.
But before the pyramids, what were they known as?
the bees.
The bees.
Bees, yes.
We'll come to that in a moment because that's quite important. So, who was the boss Skinhead then?
The boss Skinhead, Mr. Roy Ellis, none other than Mr. Roy Ellis.
Mr. Roy Ellis, the real boss Skinhead.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. And what he did, Ross, we'll come to the track in a moment. What he did in a certain track probably changed people's lives forever. In as much as that subculture
Okay.
was really born then, because it was actually something tailored for that subculture.
Oh yes.
And people still live that to this day.
Oh gosh, yes.
And it's just what he saw, and but we'll come to that in a moment. So
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it.
No.
So what else do you know about Symarip then? Symarip.
There's also known as the seven letters.
The 7 letters, that's because they got 7 members.
Okay.
Now, the only reason they got 7 members, right, originally there was 6 members in that band.
Right, yes.
And it was a saxophonist, if I remember rightly, from Jamaica, had come over with, I'm going to say it was Prince Buster,
Alright.
but it could have been Laurel Aitken, it was one of the two.
Okay.
Stayed with that band, and that's how they became 7,
Alright.
as far as I'm aware.
Yes.
And the fact that Eddie Grant didn't join it, but he just, he was very,
He was handy.
he was very instrumental in that band's success.
Yes. Yes.
So,
And,
what else do you know
and
about him?
Zubaba as well.
Zubaba.
Zubaba.
That was after
After the 7 letters.
the 7 letters, but that was a bit later, was it not?
Just a little bit, yeah.
So, right, I really want to drill down into the Trojan sort of era, the sort of Trojan rocksteady sort of ska. What Roy Ellis actually called reggae.
Okay.
Yeah, believe it or not, he calls it reggae.
Alright.
And he said at that point in time, when he started making those records, that he pretty much thought ska was over, ska and Blue Beat.
Blue Beat, yes.
So there you go.
Alright.
So what else do you know then, Mrs. Moonstomp?
Members, the other members as well.
So who were the other members?
Other members, Monty Naismith, keyboards.
No, Monty, yeah. Right,
Monty
okay.
Naismith,
Okay,
yes.
and then was it Frank Pitter or something?
Peter, yes.
I think it was Pitter or Patter or something like that on the drums.
It's
Yeah.
Peter.
And
On the
then,
drums. On the bass, Michael Thomas.
fair enough.
Yes. Josh Roberts on the guitar.
There you go.
Yes. Saxophone, and there's 2 saxophonists. Carl Griffith on the Griffith on the alto saxo, and Roy Knight.
Right, and he was on the sort
Yeah,
of
just the regular.
the tenor sax.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
you're trying to say, tenor
Okay,
sax, yeah.
yeah.
Alto and tenor.
Yes. Yes.
Right, 2 different things. Or whatever it was, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And they signed up with Trojan, didn't they?
Yes.
In 1969. But they weren't with Trojan originally
No.
at all.
No,
So
they weren't.
let's drill down into how it actually got to where it got to.
Okay.
And right, I think it spans over, for me, it spans over, I'm going to say it starts in 1962.
Okay. Yes.
For me, that's where it kind of starts. So Roy Ellis
Yes.
was, like you said, Jamaican, and he came to the UK in
1962.
1962.
people. Yes.
And right, from what I can gather, right, he was looking to be a singer,
Okay. Yes.
and he approached different people, and he couldn't actually sing.
Yeah. So he did the backing singing.
Well, initially, he went to, right now I'll put the name of who it was on the screen because it's kind of a bit hazy for me.
Well, there was Laurel Aitken.
But it wasn't Laurel Aitken, so it wasn't Laurel Aitken he went to originally
Okay.
to get his first rodeo.
All right.
Right, he landed at the studio and he wanted to sing, and they said, "Can you actually sing?" And he was like, "Well, yeah, I can," and he couldn't, not really.
Okay.
But when they said you need to sing, he was like, yeah, and they said, well, no, you need to just sing without instruments, without any backing. He was like, he was mortified,
Okay.
as anybody who can't sing would be, because it exposes your voice for everything. But in order to be a singer, you've got to be able to sing just like that. So what he did was he made these noises with his mouth, and he sang this like little Christmas ditty.
Okay.
And and I think this is actually in Roy Ellis's biography,
All right.
where the bloke who heard him went, "Blood clot," he says, "You can't sing," he says, "but me never hear a noise like that in all my life." And he recorded 3 songs with him.
Did he say, "Can't sing, got no talent," and he snapped his Kit Kat? But you go a long way.
You're living in the 1980s, you're Mrs. Moonstomp.
I
You
think that's
really
what
are.
he said.
Yeah, you did indeed. But yeah, if you're anywhere else in the world, you probably really wouldn't get that joke. That's just so regional, Mrs. Moonstomp, but it is amusing. Yeah.
Boom, boom.
But, yeah, and that's how it started, and they ended up forming the Bees. And you mentioned Laurel Aitken, didn't you?
Oh yes.
Now Laurel Aitken was a massive superstar.
He's dubbed as one of the kings of ska anyway.
Wow.
Him and Prince Buster.
Yeah, and the Bees actually supported Laurel Aitken first and foremost on Laurel Aitken's UK tour.
Oh yes.
And they played everywhere with him.
Wow.
Now Laurel Aitken, obviously impressed with the Bees, recommended the Bees to other artists, and you said Prince Buster as well.
Oh yes.
They supported Prince Buster. Millie Smalls as well.
Oh gosh.
Would you believe? And this is the bit that people probably don't know.
Oh.
They went on support with people as support act for groups like The Who.
The Who.
There you go. And The Nice. Now, if you don't know who The Nice are, that become Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Nice.
Oh yeah, that rings a bell. It's sort of stirring up in my mind.
They did, yeah.
Oh,
and
yes.
so there was big groups like that.
Flipping
They
heck,
supported
wow.
big groups just as a support act.
Yes.
Now, when we say they supported Prince Buster, Laurel Aitken, they were actually the backing band
Oh yes.
for that. So really, they were the headline act.
Okay, wow.
And they were the first British band to actually do that. To actually do ska bluebeats in its entirety.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Big up, man, big up.
That is pretty good. And what they actually said was, you know, initially they took it to black clubs, then they took it to white clubs.
Yes.
And it was the white clubs where the kids went, wow, what is that?
That's it.
Never heard it before.
Never heard anything like it in their life.
No, exactly. And that changed the whole dynamic.
Yes. It just took off from there ever since.
What it did do now, at that point in time, they were signed to a record label, if I remember rightly, and I can't remember the name of the record label now. I've got a feeling they were signed to, I'm going to say it's Blue Beat.
It was Blue Beat, yes.
So it was Blue Beat, but they were signed to Blue Beat. Now Blue Beat's just been going forever and ever.
Yes,
it's you know, it's just one of those, isn't it? Yeah.
Like further, like 1967 sort of era.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
And then then I think they went to, was it Presidents? Presidents.
As the years went on, there was sort of chop and change labels.
They did. Now,
7-inch.
yeah, now President wasn't like humongous.
Okay.
But it was still a fairly sort of smart label. So did they not have a single as well?
Yes.
So what was that single?
The Train Tour to Rainbow City.
Right, okay.
Train Tour to reached number 31 in the UK charts.
Get you, Mrs. Moonstomp. Okay, didn't know that at all. Right, I know the record because you got the record somewhere in our collection somewhere. Not that I've heard it for absolute ages.
It's been a while.
But
dust it off.
yeah, there you go. So,
Yes.
Mrs. Moonstomp, a font of knowledge.
Oh.
So
I wish.
So when they first came to Britain, Mrs. Moonstomp, they settled in South London.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Okay, and then they sort of the reggae culture that was. Well, it wasn't even reggae culture at that point in time, was it? It was
Not
like
really.
ska culture.
It's still ska and skinhead.
Yeah.
Reggae sort of thing. They say still dub it reggae, but it wasn't really reggae. It was like to that ska beat.
Well, the funny thing is now Roy Ellis classified his stuff from like sort of 1969 onwards as reggae.
Okay.
So it says in his biography.
Yes.
Which I'm gonna say is in his bio page. It's not the best written.
Okay.
And it's almost written in patois actually, but it's brilliant all the same.
Yes.
And I think you have to go and read that, guys, just to get a handle on this guy. But this guy, in my opinion, this guy's truly unique.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
there are others. In fact, there are others that are better. But this is the guy that started it all.
Yes. Oh yes.
There you go.
And his hit minute is can't speak. His hit minute. His hit Skinhead Moonstomp. Skinhead Moonstomp was it's a pure skinhead concept. It was a pure skinhead concept in 1970.
Exactly, I was going to come to that in a bit
Okay.
about Skinhead Moonstomp.
Oh,
because
yes,
that's what this is all about.
Yes.
Now, I would say that, right, so our channel name, Moonstomp Originals, now that's based on Skinhead Moonstomp,
yes.
obviously, and probably the appeal of tuning to our channel is probably you see, I don't know what you see when you're searching,
Okay.
or whether it's suggested, whether it's in people's feeds or whatever. I can look at the analytics, but I don't look at the analytics too much.
Okay.
But Moonstomper, it just says it all.
It
doesn't
does, doesn't it?
It
It
absolutely says it all straight away.
Sounds righteous, stomping
Yeah.
and rugged.
It is, and that's you know, and then you've got films like Romper Stomper as well. So that's
yeah,
stomping.
Stomper.
That stomping is just that's Skinhead Culture.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. I know that.
Exactly that. Exactly that. And
Yeah.
that's what our channel's based on.
Yes, yes.
It's just that. So if it wasn't for that record,
I know. It'd be called something else.
I don't even think we'd have a channel. I don't even think we would. And I would go as far as to say, if it wasn't for that record, then would Skinhead have lasted?
I don't think so.
I
Maybe in a different way, maybe. Not as big as it was then.
I don't know. Well, they kind of jumped on that just at the right time. So there's such a thing as timing.
Yes.
And your timing can either be off considerably, but as a musician, his timing's impeccable.
Yes.
And he just did that right at the right time.
Oh yes.
But it wasn't as successful as people think. It wasn't the rip-roaring #1 hit that people think it should have been.
Okay, no.
But still brilliant altogether. And yeah, there you go. So what say we take a bit of a break,
yes.
and then we'll come back after the break. So watch this, guys, and we'll be back in a moment.
Still you've got no friends. Whoa, get up and find yourself. My name is Roy Ellis, coming from Kingston, Jamaica, where it all started. And now I've got the name Roy Ellis, aka Mr. Symarip. That's what everybody knows me from all over the world. That's what they call me, the boss skinhead. I didn't give myself the name. The people just call me the boss because that's what I sung about on the Skinhead Moonstomp album. So people just brand me the name over the year. Nobody never said Roy to me. They just say, "Hey, hello, boss." So I'm the boss.
But I'm so happy to be here. I just did 2 interviews right now. 2 interviews to tell the people that asked about what I think about the Toolist crowd. I said, well, I'm here like a therapist to make everybody happy.
Skinhead Reggae is just a name what they got when I recorded the those songs those years. We took the ska music, we took the rocksteady, and we took the reggae, and we combined these 3 rhythms together with a different talk, because the normal reggae in Jamaica, when it was recorded, a lot of the young white people, the white kids, they couldn't dance to it, but they could dance to our reggae because we make it a little more faster, you see. So automatically they brand it. They brand my music and call it Skinhead Reggae. Ting yakka, ting yakka, ting yakka, ting yakka, you know, quicker, you know. And only the skinhead could dance it and do the ska with it, so and that's what turned to be Skinhead Reggae. So I didn't call it Skinhead Reggae, the skinheads call it Skinhead Reggae. That's why they give me the name the boss from the Skinhead Reggae. And we know that we had a lot of skinhead followers in England those days, and we went in the studio, and before we used to record it with Eddie Grant under the name of the Pyramids. So we went in the studio, and it was like a jam thing in Skinhead Moonstomp. That album was like a jam thing. We didn't know what we was doing. Everybody just played because we got the studio free from Graham Goodall, and we just jamming in the studio. So it's a 4-track studio. We just jam the studio, we jam inside and music, because we didn't have nothing else to do. And we come up with these ideas and try to put the record out, and we couldn't put the record out because we were still under contract with Eddie Grant. We couldn't use the name to put out that record, otherwise they would sue us. You know what suing mean? They take us to court, and then we got to pay. So they told us we can never use that name Pyramids to promote the record, so we came up with the name to spell it back way without a D, and it pronounced Symarip. Derek Morgan came out at that time with a new record called The Moon Hop, and the producer in the record company told us, "You have so many skinhead followers, why don't you do something for the skinheads?" So we went in the studio, in the box, and we just started fooling around with the rhythm from Derek Morgan, The Moon Hop, and used the yeah, and I wrote the lyrics without writing the lyrics. I was just talking. Just, what comes out of your head, you just speak. And it come to be a big success. And so some of the records and all the other. So as I said, it was a coincidence. It wasn't planned. And the album went in 1969, the album went up in number 5 in the hit parade. And the album came out, make history now, because Skinhead Moonstomp, the album was released 8 times in 47 years. 8 times, the same album, the same picture. This music was already in Jamaica many years before, but Symarip was the first reggae band to have a record in the hit parade. And when we made the Skinhead Moonstomp album, because we had so many Skinhead followers, they just brand us as the Skinhead band. So Symarip was the first ever Skinhead band in England. Then 12 years later come Special, Bad Manners, Selectors, this, that, and they called my music New Wave. And later on they called it Skinhead Reggae, but it's all coming from me. The band was broken up in 1988 in Finland. We were touring there, and then we got conflict. We've been together from in the school days in England. A lot of time, you're like, when you live with a woman all these years, sometimes the marriage broke up. Everybody got their own opinions. That one say this. Because it's a democratic band. It's a democratic. Everybody got something to say. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. And we just couldn't take it anymore. So we break up. After the end of the band in 1988, I went to do solo. I went to the gospel music and soul and make a career in Switzerland. A very big career doing all this on the gospel. Then I met Laurel Aiken in 2006. And he's the one who tell me I should go back on the road because a lot of people, because Symarip will never tour under the name Symarip or this Skinhead Moonstomp. I only started tour in 2005, 2006. That's when I started tour with this music. But I myself was the writer for the songs. I'm a singer of the songs, and everybody know my face. So Laurel said, "You're the man who should go there and do the song." I said, "But I can't go as Roy Ellis because nobody know me as Roy Ellis. They know me as Symarip." Then he said, "Go out as Roy Ellis, Mr. Symarip." Laurel gave me the name. Let's go as Mr. Symarip. And since I came back as Roy Ellis, a.k.a. also known as Mr. Symarip, boom, just went up in the air and everybody know me as Roy Ellis, Mr. Symarip, Roy Ellis alone, Mr. Symarip alone, or the boss. The name the boss come in Skinhead Moonstomp said, "Remember, I'm the boss." You see, and from there it started. They asked the same question to Bob Marley: "How far do you think reggae is gonna reach?" And he said, "Reggae will keep going and going and going till it reached the right people." And it did, because reggae is every part of the planet. India, Colombia, Argentina, Brazil, all over the place. America more times, Las Vegas, they went crazy, you see. So reggae will always, you're always gonna have reggae around, Now the young people who used to play this ragamuffin, all this dance, they're going back now to reggae. Because they found out that as the Jamaican culture, as our folks music, we should keep it alive. And I'm so happy. I want to thank everybody who goes out and buy the record, not just from me, but from all the Jamaican artists. They go out and buy the record and having a great time with the Jamaican folks music. We call it reggae and we call Jamaican folks music. Thank you very much, and keep on buying and keep on listening to Jamaican music and make it more popular than ever. Saranara.
Hey, welcome back everybody, and really hope you enjoyed that little bit there.
Yeah, certainly hope you did. So we were obviously talking about, you mentioned Skinhead Moonstomp.
Oh yes.
Which I think is absolutely amazing.
It's the bum, man, it's the bum.
So, do you know how that song actually came to be?
Is it something to do with the moon landings?
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
Right, so in a roundabout way, but right, so it's a bit of a tangled web of a story.
Yeah, so there's a bit more to it than just the moon landing.
So at the time, Symarip were on Trojan Records.
Yes.
And they were casually looking, and they bumped into a chap called Graham Goodall.
Okay.
Now Graham Goodall owned record labels Dr. Bird and Treasure Isle, if I remember rightly. Somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm incorrect, but I'll just fact check it and put it on the screen for you.
Yeah.
they were in the studio, and I can't remember who it was in the studio who said, "Can you actually play anything yourself?" And they went, "Yeah, we can do." Then you mentioned Moon Hop by Derek Morgan, was it?
Derek Morgan, yes.
Derek Morgan. So the
Yes.
moon landings had just happened, and Derek
1969, this is.
Morgan. Yeah, Derek Morgan wrote this amazing tune
Yes.
called Moon Hop, which is absolutely brilliant. Shortly after that, Symarip were in the studio, and it was mentioned, why don't you sing something about skinheads?
Okay.
Now, at that point in time, skinhead was absolutely, it was, especially in London, it was all the rage.
Oh yes, big time.
And Symarip's biggest following was actually skinheads, mods, and hippies for some reason.
Yes.
Don't ask me why. I don't know where they got the hippie following from.
Okay.
But you know, it is what it is.
And like the flavour.
So what they did was they actually took the rhythm
Yes.
from Moon Hop, and he freestyle rapped over it. I want all you skinheads to
Get up on your feet and all that. Put your braces together.
and your boots on
On
your
your
feet
feet.
and give it some of
Some
that
of
old
that
moon
old
stomping.
moon
Now,
stomping.
where is that rap actually from? This is moon
It's
stomping.
from yeah, it's from a soul duo. If you heard of Sam and Dave, like from
Indeed.
Soul Man fame.
I'm a
I'm
soul man.
Yeah, well, they beginning of their song, I Thank You. It starts. I want everybody to get up or something and
Get up on their feet.
yes, clap your hands and stomp your feet and give me some of that old rhythm, something like that anyway.
Yeah,
you have to
and
listen to the records.
It's very
hear the
yeah.
resemblance.
Obviously, Mr. Ellis has taken his rap from that, changed it,
Change some
and
of the words.
yeah, Skinhead Moonstomp was
That's it,
born,
especially that old that bit there.
which is pretty amazing because
Oh God, yes.
you know if it's wherever you are and you hear that, the first thing you want to do is get up and dance.
Oh God, every time.
Get up and dance harder than the next person, and you can't help it, can
I
you?
know.
You just can't
You
help
can't.
it. It just drives you to dance.
Gosh, does it ever?
And
Yeah, man.
Trojan Records. When we mentioned this on our Trojan sort of this
Video.
is Trojan Records
Oh, yes.
video, which for some reason didn't do well, and I don't quite understand
I
that
know.
because it's Trojan
I don't know.
Records is a big deal, especially in the skinhead world.
Yeah, just about.
For the music they brought to England because they were English after all.
Yeah, the like Trojan Studios.
Yeah, they were indeed, and
Yes.
it's that and that alone that really gives the firm foundations for skinhead.
Yes.
In my opinion,
Oh yes.
especially that track. And like you say, that was the first dedicated. It was the first dedicated track to skinheads for skinheads.
That's it of
Wow.
the year. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's
Gosh.
pretty cool. That is absolutely pretty cool.
Cooler than ice.
And he's still going, Roy Ellis.
He is.
He's
yeah.
still going. You can be seen at sort of conventions,
Some
reunions, that
different
sort of
venues.
thing. Yeah, and he pulls himself out and he does that, and
Yes.
people just go wild for it. They really do.
Gosh.
Absolutely amazing person as well.
He is. The Moonstomp, Derek Morgan's version. It sounds the Symarip version sounds similar.
It does because they took the bass line. So that basically they took the rhythm, which is the bass line.
For Liquidator as well.
Yeah, but they were common. What I'd say is in that format,
Yes.
bass lines. So bass lines are really common. Bass lines and drum beats, and it's only the melody you put over
Oh yes.
and the vocals you put over that are going to change the dynamic.
That's it.
But the bass line or the rhythm section, so bass and rhythm guitar, that's gonna be pretty similar all the way through.
That's it. Yes.
But I find that really fascinating.
It is.
And it's, like I say, it's the cornerstone of our channel. It's the cornerstone of anyone who wears boots and braces, maybe, depending on what your views are. I think. So what happened to them then when after they'd done that, did they move to...
Moved to Germany.
Well, there you go.
In 1971.
And they sort of reggae had kicked in then.
Oh yes.
Big time.
Yes.
And I would say that was probably thanks to... I would say it was Island Records.
Okay.
Not Treasure Isle, but Island Records.
Island.
Chris Blackwell, you know, people like Bob Marley and the Wailers.
Yes.
Jimmy Cliff, people like that.
Desmond Dekker.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But there's under the name Zubaba. When they went to Germany, they played Afro rock and that sort of music.
Yeah, and that's that. I mean, to me, that's you know what I would say is horses for courses. But I'll say now under Treasure Isle label, they did Skinhead Moonstomp, Must Catch a Train.
Yes.
And then like Skinhead Girl, Your Mind, These Boots Are Made for Stomping.
Yes.
You know, wow.
That Nancy Sinatra 60 song.
Yeah. Skinflint and Try Me Best, you know, and those
I
are...
love all them tunes, man.
Those are... Wow, you know.
Especially Skinhead Girl and the Boots Are Made for Stomping as well. If you've not heard it, go check them out, man.
Yeah, get your docks on and go stomping, guys. That's what it's all about. You know, it's just...
One of these days, these boots I'm gonna stomp all over you. That's what he says.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, it really is. And so
Yes.
if it wasn't for Roy Ellis...
Where would we be? We don't know.
There you go.
We
There
don't
you go.
know in English.
Yeah, there you go.
Translate.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
There you go. But the fact he supported, you know, like you say, Prince Buster, Laurel Aitken, you know,
The big two kings of ska.
guys like that.
Yeah.
And then he does something so it's such a copy thing to do, but it's so unique the way somebody can put their own spin on something.
Gosh, yes.
Imitation isn't always the best form of flattery, but sometimes, god damn it is.
Yeah, sometimes
You know,
it can be.
and he's just taken two things, smashed it together, and when he did those, incidentally, they didn't rehearse it. He just came straight out with that. You know, he just came out straight out with that, and they did it a few times and they cut it.
And pulled it off, man, and it stuck.
They cut it, and that's, you know, that to me is just like, that's, yeah, fantastic.
Genius.
I think so, definitely.
Yes.
So, Mrs. Moonstomper,
Yes,
this one is short and sweet.
But there's something else.
Oh, go for it, sorry.
In the wake of the Two-Town craze, they re-released the Skinhead Moonstomp in 1980, just to get with the Skinhead.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
They did. Now, there was quite a few who got on board with that. Now, when it was released on Trojan Records.
Yes.
So Trojan had pretty much taken over all of that. And like I say, it was never recorded on Trojan Records. Trojan Records never had recording studios.
No.
What they did is they just pulled the best of the best of the best, and they put it on the Trojan record label.
Yes.
Now, I don't know what your feelings are about Trojan, but every time I see that orange label,
Yeah, with the shield and the head, the side profile.
I'll go all week at the knees and I get really excited.
Such a busting logo.
I mean, all the other record labels, brilliant, but I just see Trojan Records,
Trojan,
and
that's
I'm
it,
just
man.
like, you know, yeah, and hands up who's a Trojan skin. Do you know what I mean? And that's
Put a hand up.
yeah, and that's used for sharp skins where they reverse the Trojan helmet
Yes.
backwards. It's used for everything.
Yes.
So it is. It's a really truly amazing thing. It really is. And the good thing about Trojan Records is that they just carried it on
Oh yes.
when they could have quite it, and they were in trouble.
Okay.
In the mid-70s, they were in major financial trouble. It's now owned by Universal Music Group, but I think what got them into trouble more than anything else was the fact they wanted to put strings on everything.
Yes, we did. I think it sounds really nice.
It sounds nice, but I mean, you got a lot of stuff like the Pioneers, Let Your Yeah Be Yeah, where they put that string on the back, and that suits that.
Yes.
And
yes,
it becomes
it
a
does.
really, really good record.
That's it.
But
Bob and Marcy, Young, Gifted and Black.
yeah,
The strings.
again,
Nicky Thomas, The Love of the Common People.
which Paul Young covered some years
Yes,
later,
in the
and
80s.
absolutely murdered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely murdered that
How
song.
about, oh no.
There you go. Mrs. Moonstomper said that.
Oh dear. Oh yeah, Mr. Moonstomper, did you know the specials cover them Moonstomp the Moonstomp song, yeah, 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 when it starts, yeah, 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 yeah.
Why would I not know that?
And they mixed in the long shot, kick the bucket and all that.
They did, yeah. It was a
Yes,
medley. It was their medley, and that was. I think it was about. It was quite for the specials. I think it was about 7 or 8 minutes long.
Something like that.
So it was quite long, and it was absolutely brilliant. And they did.
Yes, I think so.
They did an okay job of that actually, but
they did.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to call it. Can't beat the original.
Oh, never.
Can't beat the original,
never.
and you can't beat it on vinyl, guys. So if you haven't got vinyl,
Gosh.
go and get vinyl, and it just changes the dynamic of everything. It's the warmth,
Definitely.
it's the warmth of it.
And the sound of the crackling of the vinyl.
It's as it was
Again.
intended.
Oh yes.
So don't play it in stereo. You need you do need a decent setup, but play it in stereo and you'll hear the
I
difference.
dare you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Double dare you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Moonstomper.
Oh yes.
Mrs. Moonstomper.
Yes, Mr. Moonstomp. Mr. Moonstomper. Yes.
Have you? And I don't. Do I really need to ask this? Have you got anything else?
I might have. Does everybody need a bosom for a pillow, I wonder? Maybe they do, maybe
What
they
the
don't.
Dickens? Isn't that a song? Is it?
Yeah.
Brimful of Asher.
Everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Yeah.
Wasn't he local to us?
Oh dear, no, is he thinking about the other one?
Oh, I'm thinking about.
The Babylon Zoo, Spaceman.
I'm thinking of Corner Shop. That's who that was.
Yeah, that was Corner Shop.
Yeah. He recorded that in his bedroom. Did you know that?
Oh yes, I knew
Brimful of
that.
Asher. Recorded in his bedroom in a little 4-track Porter studio.
I think Babylon Zoo did as well, I think.
There was quite a few, so that was the mid-90s for you.
Yes,
When
yes.
home recording became a thing and did real engineers out of jobs.
I'm thinking him who did that song, the Indian guy, Naughty, is it not Naughty Boy, I forget his name. Well, you know the one I'm on about. I can only be a woman. It's got a violin, old-fashioned violins.
I don't want to admit it, but kind of, yes.
Yeah, I think he recorded in his kitchen, his mum's kitchen. I think he was saying.
Well, if he's going to write things like that, then yeah, I think he needs to record in
That's
his mum's
such
kitchen.
a weird
yeah.
song.
I think he should have actually stayed in his mum's kitchen, actually. But there you go. Just saying.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
love all music, but I do draw the line sometimes, and that for me is just like no. And it's nothing to do with this channel whatsoever.
No.
And we will never bring you rubbish like that. And if we do bring you rubbish, then you need to tell us we're bringing you
Say,
rubbish.
boo, hiss, get off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anything else, Mrs. Moonstomper?
No. Not this time.
Do you know what we've got coming up next time, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Oh, is it another surprise?
It's another surprise, but what we've come to realise on this channel
Oh, the
is
competition, isn't it?
the competition's mid-January
Oh yes.
to the end of February. It's got to be for 6 weeks, and there'll be a perfectly good reason it's for 6 weeks.
Yes.
I've come to realise with this channel that people like authenticity. So when we step away from our originality,
Oh,
not so many people watch it.
okay.
So this year, 2025, we're going to make a concerted effort to, where we can, work commitments permitting, because I have to work full time, as well as other things. But I think the concerted effort should be that we do more original things. So we did Screwdriver, and we've done Symarip.
Yes. Oh, you said it properly this time.
I did indeed, but I have to think about that when I say it. And we should do other things like that within the subculture, within the genre.
Yes.
And that for me is a better watch. We just have to do a bit more homework.
That's
And
it.
yes, we are going to jump out a few things.
That's what we do sometimes and then veer back in.
Yeah, things, heavy metal and stuff like that, and black metal and other things. There's some great bands there, but we'd like to focus on a few more bands, if we may, please.
Yes.
We can
They said
subculture.
yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they said yes.
Yeah, I should think so. Because subcultures can only go so far, but we'll still drive and dig down those subcultures.
Of course.
And the other thing we want to do is we want to get out and about with the camera this year, do we not, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Oh yes, that would be good.
Now,
Stretch us legs.
the only problem is your work commitments are different to my work commitments,
yes.
and you've got set holidays, whereas I haven't got set holidays.
No.
Now, what we plan to do is try and get to as many rallies, conventions as we can, and film there,
That's it.
just to have a look at that subculture in more depth. So we've got the Skinhead reunion coming up in, I think that's beginning of June.
June,
It's beginning of June in Brighton. So hopefully, what I'm going to do, because you've got work commitments,
That's it, I can't get out of it.
is I'm going to jump on a motorbike, pack the camera gear up,
Yes.
and I'll run down there for a day or something like that if I can. And then other things as well, such as Isle of Wight. And bear in mind, they're hundreds of miles away from where we are,
Yes.
and I've got to do that in a day, but it's
So
doable.
far.
Yeah, and then other places, scooter meets, conventions, exhibitions, that sort of thing, rallies.
Yes.
And we're going to try and get to as many of those. If we can't, then we apologise in advance, and it's because we're working, but we're still going to bring you some great content, guys. I think.
Big up Mr. Moonstomp.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
So, and then don't forget competition time. Which will be, I think it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And it's your chance. We want to see what you guys are like.
Yes.
Whether you're matching our energy, and it'll become apparent. There's going to be a few who are going to match the energy straight away, and if you do, you are in with an amazing chance to win a really good prize. Now, what we'll do on the first week, we'll reveal what the prizes are going to be. And there's going to be some unique prizes. The top prize is not so unique, but it's still a nice prize all the same.
Yes.
So there you go.
Yes.
Anything else, Mrs. Moonstomper?
Keep those dumplings. I can't even say it.
Keep those dumplings. Oh no, do me. That's something else.
Dopamines, happy hormones. Keep them stirring and a girding.
Okay. On that tragic note, guys, I've got nothing else whatsoever apart from to say I love you as always, and thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I've been Mr. Moonstomper.
Mrs. Moonstomper says, love you. Forever.
I fall.